Hi, did you know that Cinderella's story is actually full of spiritual wisdom? I didn't notice that before either. But the more I have been thinking about her story and more I am learning about spiritual laws and how they work and how they help us create a life we truly love, I realized that it wasn't the Prince Charming that saved Cinderella. Not really. He didn't really do anything. She did all the work herself. And as a result of what she did, she has unleashed the queen inside of her and she made her new and a better life welcome. Hi, my name is Natalia Jansen, and I am a life mastery consultant. And today we're talking about how we can use Cinderella's story as an example to live in accordance with spiritual principles and welcome the good and that we're worthy of, that we deserve to have in our life and create a life we truly love and then unleash that queen that's hiding inside. So let me explain what I mean. Traditionally, as I was growing up, I always saw Cinderella as a girl who, was being nice and mistreated. And then by fortune and good luck, she ended up with this really great guy and became a queen. But now I look at it and I see that Cinderella actually is the one responsible for her good fortune. So let me explain what I mean. She was kind, she was compassionate and beautiful, but she suffered a terrible loss as a child. Her mother passed and her father remarried, thinking, as a young child, she needed another mom. Unfortunately, he was unaware that the woman he brought into the home would not accept Cinderella as her daughter. And so when he passed away, Cinderella was left treated as a servant in her own home. But what she did that was amazingly powerful is she continued to be grateful, she continued to be kind, and she performed her duty, whatever it may be, with love and always to her best ability. See, she never complained. She appreciated what she had and she did what she could from where she had with the resources that she had available. She made the best of the situation that she was in. And then an opportunity presented itself, an invitation to a ball. And Cinderella, she decided that she would love to attend the ball. And so, with this new longing that showed up in her life, a new opportunity, her world opened up to a possibility. So she did what she could. She found her mother's old dress and she altered it to fit her and the occasion. And she was prepared to go to the ball and have a wonderful one magical night of dancing and being carefree and enjoying yourself as a young girl. And then her old life, the patterns and things that have, that how we have paradigms and ways of thinking and believing that we're used to and comfortable with. Well, in Cinderella's story, they were represented by her stepmother and stepsisters who didn't want Cinderella to step out of what's known or step out of her comfort zone and go out into a new adventure and explore what else is possible for her. They wanted to keep her in her old life. So they tore her dress apart. They tore it into shreds and thought that they would keep her, stuck in her old way of life. And they would go on to the ball without her. And Cinderella was sad. She let those feelings, disappointment go through her, but in the moment where she ran out into the silence to her mother's grave to find answers, she opened up to a different possibility. Instead of trying to force the solution her way, her dress was torn, that didn't work. She let another opportunity come in. She welcomed it. And that's where her magical fairy godmother showed up. And it is same as when we stop looking and forcing, looking at the circumstances, trying to force the outside world to fit into our idea of how things should work. But instead, we quiet down, we let the noise die down, and we center ourselves. We can access the infinite, this universal intelligence, the source of all life that has answers we don't see with our eyes, and we might not know with with the knowledge and information that's available to us through our physical senses. But when we quiet down and then we allowed ourselves be guided, new ideas and opportunities and answers show up. For Cinderella, it came in the form of a fairy godmother. And she gave her a much more beautiful dress and the slippers and the carriage. And so she did have a night of magical fun going to the ball. And she danced the night away with a beautiful, handsome young man, not even knowing it was the prince. Because that wasn't her goal. Her goal was to have a beautiful night out, a new way to enjoy life. And she also followed the rules. The universal laws, they may be invisible. They operate in the invisible realm, beyond our, matter, beyond the world of form, the material world that we are able to see with our physical senses. There's so much more to the world than just what we can see, hear, feel, smell, and touch. But it also operates by laws and rules, just like electricity, right? In order for you to have a light in your home, you have to make sure that the house is wired and the circuits are complete according to the codes, according to the laws, how electricity operates. If you don't follow the laws, the electricity won't work, right? So Cinderella had to follow a rule, the magical dress and the shoes and the pumpkin that turned into the carriage were only there till midnight. So when the clock struck midnight, she came back. She left the imaginary world and followed the rules. But what happened in that evening is her world expanded. She lived into the possibility. She put on the role and she stepped into her new self, into the possibility of herself being more than what she has been up until that point. And that's what the prince recognized, because the prince lives in the world and in a higher vibration, in a different level of awareness. And Cinderella, not until she stepped into that role and raised her vibration to the level of awareness of the prince, did he see her and notice her. And then he came looking, and she made it welcome. She made it possible by taking action and stepping into that part and living in that part, even though for a little bit. So then when Prince found her, she was familiar with this new way of being, with this bigger possibility for her, the bigger world. And she stepped into her new role and became his bride and unleashed the queen that was hidden inside all along. Now, I don't know if this is the right way, but I really love thinking of this story in this way because it helps me see Cinderella as someone who took control, who became empowered, who lived in gratitude and appreciated what she had while she had it, while she gave herself permission to long for and dream up more. And she only did what she could. She didn't try to force it. She made it welcome. And that's what we should do. I'm working on a new workshop. I'm trying to put together the beautiful slides, and I'll let you know when the workshop is ready to go. And if you live in Los Angeles or are you going to be visiting Los Angeles in the near future, you might want to come and check out the workshop, because we are going to practice stepping into our new self, into the future self, the hero that's hiding inside. And we will work on unleashing our queens and overcoming our limitations and expanding our possibilities, our belief into possibilities, and using our imagination to do so. If nothing else, it'll be really, really fun. And if I can put a smile on your face and at least open your mind up to a little bit of possibility of imagining life, not as it is, but as it could be, I will be really happy and I would have done my job. So again, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.